Hi, my name's Maggie Anspatch. I live in Manville, Texas in the country, and I was just wanting to tell you today how important it is to have your animals spayed and neutered. My husband and I have cats and dogs, and every one of these animals have come into our lives and they're strays. And as soon as we get them in our home, we get them spayed and neutered, and then we've got a friend that is a lifetime companion for us. When we get our little puppies and kittens and little goats, little ponies, they're all so cute when they're little. And everyone just loves a brand new little animal, but we forget when we take these animals into our homes that they're to be our lifetime companions, and that you just don't get rid of them in about a year and then get you a new little puppy or a kitten. So if we don't take care of our animals that we acquire, then they end up at an abandoned animal shelter, and they'll either be put to sleep or they'll be sitting there for months and months hoping that someone will take care of them from then on. Please get your animals spayed and neutered. Otherwise, if you don't, they keep breeding and breeding, and that's not good health for the animal. And then they keep getting puppies and they keep getting kittens, and then before you know it, we have so many. And then what happens? Well, they're all put to sleep, and they deserve a better life than that. This week I adopted Sammy. He's a little weenie dog, and he is so precious. He's 9 years old, has 2 teeth. He's partly blind, and his hearing's not all that well. And I acquired him from a animal rescue group out of Paris, Texas, and he is so wonderful. All of his life he was in a little cage in a puppy mill, so he was used just for breeding purposes. He's never been outside of that cage his whole life. He's slept, gone to the restroom, all in this cage. So therefore this week when I've got him home, I'm so happy to have him. He's so beautiful, and he should have been neutered years ago, but they've used him here to breed. And now he's so messed up mentally that he doesn't even want to come to me. And then when I finally do get him, he just has his tail wagging and he's so happy. So I hope I have Sammy for a long, long time, for I can just show him how much I love him and how much he should have been treated better years ago than what he was put through all of his life. On behalf of the new member of my family, Sammy, and all the poor animals that are living all their lives in puppy mills, please adopt. Don't shop or breed.
Hi, my name is Paul Bowie. I'm here today at Buster's Friends Highland Village Adoption Center. Buster's Friends is a local rescue organization here in Houston. The organization adopts abandoned and homeless animals from our local City of Houston shelters. Once they come into the program, the dogs are either fostered by our volunteers, or the ones that may not have fosters are boarded in local kennels. Once a week, on Saturday and Sunday, all of the animals end up coming here to the adoption center in Highland Village, and the volunteers work the center and try to find these dogs good homes and give them a second chance after life in the shelter. And with me today is one of my dogs, one of my 3 rescue dogs. Her name is Peanut. She's my spokesman for the shelter today. She's a great spokesman because she's really loving. She's a great animal, and she's just a total dork. And I really love her to death. I'll tell you a little bit about her story. My wife and I first saw Peanut at a local adoption event here in Houston, and she was going crazy at the adoption event, and I was like, wow, that dog is not showing very well. And we went home. We were looking at adopting a 3rd dog. We did some research online. We found out where she was. She was at one of our local shelters. We went down there and adopted her, and I'll tell you what, after having her for a year, I can understand why she wasn't showing too well at the shelter. She loves people to death. She's really high energy, and I'm pretty sure her idea of a day away from the shelter did not involve being in a crate at an adoption event. So regardless, she's part of our family now, and she's a great addition to the family. And I've had dogs my entire life, ever since childhood, and I will have to say she is probably my favorite pet that I've had, and she came from one of our local animal shelters. I would venture to say that very, very few Houstonians realize that somewhere between 80 and 100,000 animals are euthanized in our local shelters every year. I've lived here for 15 years, and I didn't know that till about a year and a half ago. To me, that's just a staggering number. You know, we've got to be able to do better than that, somehow. And the solution to that problem is educating the citizens of Houston to be more responsible with their pets. When we don't spay and neuter our pets, we end up with a population of unwanted animals that end up at the shelter. The shelters get overcrowded. What I'd like to ask everyone to do, if you're interested in adding a pet to your family, please consider adopting your next pet from an animal shelter. They have all types of animals over there. They have purebred dogs. They have mixed breeds. You want a big dog, you want a small dog, you want a high energy dog, you want a lazy dog. They've got all types over there. So you should be able to find what you're looking for over at the animal shelter. And they have tons of cats. You want a long hair cat, you want a short hair cat, you want a kitten, whatever you want, you can find it at the local animal shelters. So now I'd like to extend an invitation to anyone that might want to help our organization, which is Buster's Friends. You're more than welcome. Let's say you live in an apartment and you would really like to have an animal and you can't adopt. Come on down and you can help us out for a weekend. We have all kinds of playtime with the animals. We take the animals for walks. We feed the animals. So if you'd like to get some basic interaction with a dog or a cat, we usually have around 50 dogs over here and almost or more that many cats. So we'd like to extend that opportunity to you. We've got all kinds of animals over here, and if you don't find what you want over here, then please head down to the shelter and adopt one of the shelter animals. Thank you.
I'm Beverly Harper. I'm with Adopt a Cat. I founded Adopt a Cat almost 16 years ago now. We'll be 16 years old in September. And although I think that what we've done through the years is well worth doing, we've saved a lot of cats, we have a no-kill sanctuary as well as a shelter, it's like sticking your fingers in the dike. We need to stop so many from coming onto the planet in the first place. It doesn't do any good to just keep taking care of the ones that are already here. We really need to cut down on the numbers. And another thing that we really need, in addition to availability and proximity to where people can get to spay-neuter clinics, is that we need community education. Because if people don't know that they need to have this done, or that it's there, it doesn't get done. And so the two things together are absolutely necessary to any working recipe for doing something about the pet overpopulation problem. There's so much suffering out there of innocent little animals.
Hello, my name is Mitchell. I volunteer for Buster's Friends here at Highland Village on the weekends. I also volunteer for a group called Friends for Life during the week, and for another group called Save a Cat Rescue also during the week. And I've been doing rescue for about 6 years now. Began by finding a cat that had been left behind by someone who moved and decided that they could not take it with them, so they just left it in their backyard. And I wanted to find some place that would take it and find it a good home, and that pointed out to me one thing, which is that too many people see animals as fungible commodities rather than living things. And in rescue, I've seen a lot of animals that people will move, that they will get into financial circumstances that just turn them out. They'll do all sorts of things without thinking of them as family members. There was one person I know who managed an apartment and told me a terrible story about how when anyone moved out, she would check the dumpsters, because she all too frequently found animals in the dumpsters thrown away with all the other things they didn't want to take with them when they're moving. If you have a pet, you keep the pet. If you're homeless with the pet. If you have to move, you move the pet. If you are looking at have a pet and are looking at an apartment you think is terrific and they don't allow pets, don't take the apartment. You cannot just give them up because it's an inconvenience. The thing that everyone will tell you, which is true, is that animals need to be spayed and neutered. If we had fewer generations of animals, then the overpopulation problem would cease in a fairly short time. Some people want their children to see the miracle of birth through animals, but then the animals end up dying. So they're teaching their children that life only matters in the beginning and it doesn't matter after that, and which is not a very good story, or not a very good thing to teach kids. Adopt, do not buy from breeders. There are some very nice breeders out there. They're not necessarily bad people. But the truth of the matter is that there are so many homeless pets that need homes that there's really no reason to breed pets to then find homes.
Hi, my name is Peggy. I have 3 rescue dogs. One of them was a puppy mill breeder, a Newfoundland, for 3 years of his life. And he came to us when he was abandoned after they were about to bust the puppy mill, and he was starved, had mange, heartworms. He was also used as a fighting dog in that time. The other one was a little 4-week-old puppy born in a parking lot, and we just really want to work to keep it from happening and not have puppy mills happen again. Our rescue dog Jolt came to us at 89 pounds. He's a Newfoundland, and he weighs 165 now, 1 year later. He was starved to the point you could stick your fingers just through his ribs. He was bald with mange. If you tried touching his skin or putting medicine on his skin, it would fall off. It was just dying skin. Our vet said that he was walking dead, and he smelled like it. He had heartworms to the point that he shouldn't have even been walking with that. And so we took him home, and our vet said that he's going to die at home that night, and that we could put him to sleep there or let him die at home. We decided to let him die at home. And took him home, and he kept making it, and just the love that he's shown back has been amazing. He's the most loving towards human dog I've ever met in my life. It's just sad that he had to go through anything like that at all. If you want to see what's really happening, visit a rendering plant and see all the animal carcasses that get dumped off every day that your tax dollars put to sleep, and your own pet could be in that pile. Just get them spayed and neutered.